Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler every series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat the stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, ain't getting older grand, but we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer out about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Ooh, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it, though? It's hard to see. I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today? Happens to be my my wildfire shirt. That was a mistake. The wildfire shirt though is actually a shirt from a band called 6 Cents. They have their logo on the back. I wish it had been on the front somewhere. But 6 Cents is a really great band. I ran into their stuff earlier this year in 2025. They're kind of part of sort of the new metal revival movement that's been, increasingly prominent. I've been loving it as a, old school new metal fan. It's been great to see these new bands kind of take up the charge. And I really dig 6 Cents, man. I think they're really cool. I got to see them perform live recently. It's actually where I got the shirt from. I got some videos of their performance that I attended. Those videos are on my channel in case maybe you want to check it out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music goes because I think they're absolutely fantastic. But anyway, what am I trying for today, folks? What are we doing here? I shall explain the sling. No need to worry. I didn't break anything or do anything terrible to myself. I'm just getting older and, things are starting to catch up on me. And basically I've got some calcification, some tendonitis going on, so got to rest, anti-inflammatory meds and all that good stuff. Let it kind of chill out a little bit. So hopefully I should be good to go in a couple days. But in the meantime, I'm still doing reviews because I need to have something to do while I'm sitting around the house. So what am I reviewing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be, boom, it's from Crush. This is their Back to the 80s Electric Blue Raspberry Soda. Ooh. So yeah, there's been this little sort of retro kick that's been going on. And it's kind of interesting because I just got through reviewing the retro-styled cherry Diet Cherry Coke. And despite the fact that Crush is under the Dr. Pepper 7-Up label, they decided to go over there and come out with a sort of 80s-inspired retro-look soda, too. So, sure, why the hell not, I guess. I do like the packaging. It's pretty neat. Let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like that. Let's give it a go, man. I like some Crush. I'll be interested to see if it's just the packaging that feels 80s or if, they tried to actually vibe with the flavor a little bit more. Ooh, yeah, man, that is potent. Let's give it a go. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Okay. When it comes to blue raspberry, it's not my favorite flavor ever. There's no circumstance where it's my favorite flavor option, but I'm not, disparaging towards it. I like it well enough. It's just not a go-to flavor for me. But this is actually pretty nice. I like the way that it drinks. It has a little bit of a lighter kind of vibe in the sensation, the way of the drinking sensation. But it's very strong on flavor. It immediately hits you. I'm interested to see if they. No, I was wondering what with it being the 80s thing. I was like, maybe they switched out the high fructose corn syrup for cane sugar, but nope, not the case. That's nice. It's very sweet, very fruity. It, I will say, when I've had like blue raspberry sodas and stuff like that, where I've had greater fondness for them, they've been ones that have done a really good job of sort of exemplifying the aspects of the raspberry that I expect. So, almost a little bit of dryness, some sharpness, to the flavor. This has a little sharpness to it. It definitely has an overall tangy quality to it. But it doesn't really hit that, again, like that sort of sharpness I'm expecting, but there is a little something there. So yeah, I would say that that's probably my biggest point of contention with it. Is it just, I appreciate the tanginess that they went for. I appreciate they didn't go too far with it, because at least for me that can be abrasive. But I feel like it loses a little bit of its core essence. It just tastes a little bit not unflavorful, but like just, I don't know, a little bit weaker underneath. It feels like you get a lot of nice flavor up front, but sort of there's not a lot backing it. And I feel like maybe if they'd gone over there, cranked up that tanginess just a little bit, or given it again that little edge, or even some of that dryness I was talking about, that would give it a little bit more dimension as a soda. But, excuse me, it's still nice. I like it. It's fruity, it's refreshing, and while I don't think that it necessarily is evocative of the 80s, at least as I remember them, granted I wasn't in the 80s for very long, but, I had a few years there. But I kind of get what they're going for with it, I do feel like blue raspberry is one of those flavors that feels kind of 80s. Okay, well, 3 questions need to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Do I feel like it does a great job of being a 80s representative flavor? Sure, and kind of. I mean, when I think like 80s and stuff like that, I think being a little kid, going over there, watching some GoBots, on TV. I love GoBots, by the way, unironically. I love Transformers too, but I love them both. Maybe playing some Atari back in the day. Eventually, the Nintendo as well. I don't know that this really feels all that evocative of it, but like I kind of get what they're going for with it. Like I said, blue raspberry is definitely one of those flavors. I feel like it kind of matches the vibe that the 80s was going for, or at least it is sort of popularly represented. In reality, it's just a decade like any other decade for the most part. But I get it, it's if the 90s were extreme, and that was the whole thing, attitude and all that, this is kind of, yeah, a little bit flashy, 80s kind of vibe. So, in terms of just being a drink, it's nice enough. I like Crush typically. I think their flavors are good. I've even reviewed some in the past on the channel, I'm sure. They're never my favorite fruit flavored soda company or, brand or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, I never disliked their stuff either. I do feel like this could have been better, especially with like the 80s styling and stuff. I think they could have done more with it, but I don't feel ultimately like it's a bad outing. It's just maybe a little less impressive than I was hoping for. Now, if I'm recommending it, I am still going to recommend it, especially, I'm sure it's going to be a limited time item. Give it a shot while it's around. It's nothing you need to go way out of your way for, but at the same time, it's a little bit of fun, and it's not a bad tasting soda, Again, for me, like blue raspberry is not my favorite thing in the world, but this one works pretty well. The flavors are there, and, maybe you'll get more mileage out of it than I did, but I do still think it's a good soda overall. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly 80s-tastic rest of your life. I mean, not really, because, like, as much as we look back fondly on, AIDS epidemic, you had, fucking all the bullshit with Reagan. Reagan was a fucking, like, to anybody, I don't care what side of the issues you're on, Reagan was a monster. He was absolutely, he does not get the fucking shit that he deserves. Guy went over there and gouged out all kinds of programs. We've never recovered from his administration. Such a fucking, it's not just his fault. It's so many other people's fault. But fuck him and his whole thing. Sorry, weird tangent I went on there. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, and again, you know, I try not to be too political when it comes to my channel and stuff like that, but the Reagan thing really does kind of, and again, to be fair, like there were so many failings on that, and trust me, I could rag on damn near every politician for one thing or another, but oh, Reagan gets my fucking goat, man. So much bullshit that we're just, again, we've never recovered from because of that fucking ass clown and his Reaganomics, a fucking system of economics that was so fucking piss poor that when he got out of office and Bush Senior, when he took over for him, he immediately fucking killed that thing. Because even he was like, yeah, no, Reagan was a moron. He was an actor! Anyway, bye.